Hi, my name is Jerrica, but I write under the pen name M.K.Hill. You might know me from singing. You might know me from my podcast.
This couldn't be me because if it was Jerrica in Jesus' position, everybody would be dead.
You might not know me at all. Well, either way, welcome to my writing journey. Come along with me as I try to complete the first draft of my novel. Hi, my name is Jerrica, but I write under the pen name M.K.Hill. Welcome to my writing journey. Come along with me as I try to complete the first draft of my very first novel. I am a person that suffers from too many creative ideas. And over the years, I have had a lot, which has kept me from not really finishing anything. So for the first time in my life, I am focusing on one project to try to finish writing because I want to finish something. Let me tell you a little bit about me. First of all, I'm a pantser. A pantser is a writer who prefers to write without an outline. Fly by the seat of their pants is what it typically means. Pantsers do minimal plotting, and I am one of those people. I'm the person that kind of lets the story write itself. But unfortunately for me, that has kind of caused me some problems back in the day. So, for this project, I'm kind of a hybrid of sorts. I'm a bit of a plotter and a bit of a pantser. For the most part, I try to plot out the chapter. Instead of plotting out the whole book, it's like, I think with most writers, you know what's going to happen at the beginning and the end, but the middle. But anyway, I don't do too much plotting because I kind of want the story to write itself. I'm letting the story, letting the characters reveal the story to me as it's being written. For example, I write down beats and things that I think should happen in each chapter. But for the most part, the story seems to write itself for me. As long as there's a general direction in which the story is going, I think I'll be able to write it. Hopefully. So anyway, I said all that to say, welcome to the first draft diaries. Anyway, let me give you a rundown of what I am calling Project Echo. Little backstory here. At the beginning of this year, 2025, I really wanted to do a webtoon. I write as well as draw, as well as sing. I do a lot of things creatively, and I really wanted to write a webtoon because I just felt like a webtoon would be much less hassle than writing an actual novel. And I felt like I could get it done faster than actually writing a novel. I don't know why I thought that, but roll with me here, okay? But anyway, at the beginning of 2025, I wanted to do a webtoon. I kind of wanted to do something with familiar characters, or at least a character that people would recognize. And because of that, I decided to Google characters or stories that are of public domain. For those of you that don't know, public domain are stories and characters that aren't necessarily owned by someone. They can be used creatively over and over by different people with their stories tweaked, etc. And three people I was intrigued by. The first one was Dorian Gray. The second one was Alice in Wonderland. And the third one was Dracula. I don't know if you know, but two out of the three have so many iterations in literature, in film, in art. And you know who those two are. Alice in Wonderland and Dracula. Especially Alice in Wonderland. There are so many Alice in Wonderland retellings. It's ridiculous. And also Dracula has made a lot of appearances in film as well as literature. Dorian Gray, on the other hand, has not. And he was actually my first pick. However, after I know Dorian Gray's story, I have seen Dorian Gray movie. I have watched, Dorian Gray's kind of in the League of Gentlemen. And honestly, I really couldn't do nothing with Dorian Gray. It's just like he just wasn't interesting enough for me, or at least what I came up with wasn't interesting enough or compelling enough. I felt like if I didn't want to write that, then nobody's going to want to read it, So I decided to go with choice number 2. Alice in Wonderland. I pondered and pondered over the Alice in Wonderland thing, and I could not come up with anything new. Cause like I said, Alice in Wonderland, out of all three of these options, Alice in Wonderland has been done a lot. And I really could not think of anything that hasn't been done already. So I decided not to do Alice in Wonderland. That leaves me with the final option, Dracula. Now, truth be told, I have never been a fan of vampire stories, like ever. Twilight made me dislike vampires so much. And I just really just kind of lost interest in vampires. So when I come across Dracula, I thought to myself, I could do something with Dracula. I figured that I could come up with a new story. I wanted to refresh Dracula, and I feel like the way that I plan to tell this story has never been told before, and I don't think vampires have ever been portrayed the way that I'm trying to portray them in my story. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be a very refreshing take on Dracula, and I'm excited about it. Now, I said all that to say this. Before I decided that this would be a novel project, I wanted to make a webtoon. I created characters, I drew up characters, I put together one full episode, the first episode, and I got my biggest critic to read it. That critic is my brother. My brother will not BS me. He will tell me if something sucks. He will tell me what I need to do to fix this, whatever. So before I decided to upload a webtoon online, I wanted my biggest critic to read it. So I created one episode of Project Echo, and I let my brother read it. And the question that I wanted to ask him after he read it was, would you go to episode 2? He read it, and y'all, I was so nervous. He read it, and he said he would definitely read episode 2. And then he said, but I think you could do more if you wrote it as a novel. And baboom, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I am writing Project Echo as a novel. And since my webtoon earlier this year that I created for it, a lot has changed. Let me tell you a little bit about Project Echo and what we're going to be doing in the first draft diaries. Once a son of God, Dracula fell. Oh God. Once a son of God, Dracula fell and defiled Once a son of God, Dracula fell and defiled creation with his blood, birthing the first vampires. Broken in the eternal night war, his echo endures, reaching for his hybrid son, Nicholas Helsing, the grandson of legend and the vessel for his return. But in the shadow of a fractured world, another darkness rises, one that may eclipse Dracula. Boom, that's our premise. I don't want to get too much into it in this video because, like I said, this is going to be a whole series. You guys are going to world build with me, going to write with me, and ultimately going to help. Well, you're not going to help me, but you're going to be with me while I try to finish this novel. And I'm very excited about this project. I can't wait to dive into the characters with y'all, to show y'all all these characters and this world that I'm building, not by myself, but my brother also, who has also inspired me a lot with this story. And he also has even built the world, helped build the world. And I'm very, very, very excited to write this story. I have already written the first 3 chapters. And I've actually taken a seat back from that to write a novella about something that happened like prior to our main character. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. I really just made this video to kind of introduce myself to you guys and tell y'all what we're going to be doing. And like I said, these are the first draft diaries, and I'm so excited to write this book, and I'm so excited for all of y'all to come along. So please like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell so you'll know whenever I make an upload. But yeah, I'm so excited about this journey, and I hope that y'all will come along with me, and I hope that you're excited about this book. I can't wait to share more details about the world of Project Echo as well as the characters. So yeah.